G'day guys, welcome back to another video, another critiquing analyst video of me at the skate park. I hope you enjoyed the previous video of me at Coolum Skate Park. So this one, I'm going to be reviewing myself at Cabarita Skate Park on the 34-inch Conor O'Leary board and the 34.5-inch Man Ray board. Yeah, these boards were super fun at this park, and yeah, this park was like a sick little mellow kind of ramp. You can just do like a bunch of turns on. If you haven't watched the edit already, make sure you go watch that edit and you sort of get a better understanding of, I don't know what I'm talking about. I guess I'm going to reference that video in this video. I don't know, but yeah, let's break it down. Yo! Like I said in my previous video, I'm always filming myself, and I find like filming yourself is a great way to elevate and improve your surf skating technique, because you can really sit there and analyze your technique and sort of see what you're doing right and see what you're doing wrong and seeing where you need to improve on. And yeah, that's how I become a better surf skater. That's how I'm always constantly evolving and improving, is filming myself. Obviously you got to go out there and practice the techniques and put in the time, but you know, those little kind of tweaks and stuff is what's going to sort of elevate you from like good to better. So with that being said, let's dive into this video. Alright, to start off, I'm riding the 34.5-inch Man Ray board here at the Cabot Skate Park. Now this board is 0.5 of an inch shorter than what it was previously. So previously it was 35 inches, now it's 34.5 inches, but it's still got that 35-inch wheelbase on it. So yeah, let's break down what we're doing here. So start off, I'm just going up and down this little ramp here, doing a bunch of turns on this ramp, getting my feet into the board. And you can notice right here that I'm skating bare feet. I like to skate barefoot. I feel more in control of my board. But when I do skate barefoot, I don't really go for res at skate parks, just because it's super hard on your feet, and you know, you're probably more prone to injury because yeah, sometimes you have to bail, and you know, smacking that concrete hard on your feet isn't the most pleasant thing to do. So you know, that's why you don't see me do any airs in this sort of edit. But yeah, this turn right here, first turn off the bat, just nice and released off the top. You know, perfect technique, and I'm just coming up and down, just getting the feel of it, straight up and down. I kind of over-rotated on that transition back down, but then straight up into another turn here. I just sort of didn't quite get the slide around on that turn right there. You can see as I come around here, wheels just sort of catch right there. So I wasn't able to get that rotation, a lot more rotation than what I was planning on doing, and come around and go up for another turn. This one not as high, but you can see right here what I'm talking about. See how I was able to rotate that all the way around down there, almost to the bottom of the ramp. So if I break this one down, my first turn I rotated it up around here and stopped about here, but this one I started to rotate around here, and I'm rotating it all the way around right there. You see my body position, how upright I am, how tweaked I am. I'm just pushing all that weight onto that, extending everything out onto that back foot to get that rotation. I'm putting all my weight onto this front foot here to help me get that rotate, that slide. And I just slide around, control it, and then just pivot once I stop turning, and then come back up straight into another turn. Boom. Like I said in my previous video at the skate park, I just try a bunch of turns, and you know, you don't see all the turns in the edit. So this is what I do to try and get that one sort of good turn to put in the edit. I just try a bunch of the same turns a bunch of times to, you know, hopefully get that one turn that looks really good, so I can chuck it in the edit. And you know, just building up my confidence and getting the feel of the board and everything, and you know, that's all it takes is practice and practice and tries after try to sort of get that one good maneuver that you're happy with. So right here, I think I decided to try to go for an air, but I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm not gonna do it on this with no shoes on. And this ramp right here is actually, it's not the biggest of ramps, but it's actually super steep. Like right around here, it's when it sort of straightens out. So when you go up and do an air on it properly, you're just going to shoot up and get a lot of height. And yeah, kind of bailed on that because I didn't want to hurt my feet. So I just called that quits and stopped recording and moved on to the next one. So right here, I'm just going up and doing a turn, the same turn again, but this one I wanted to throw the towel a bit more, and that's exactly what I did right here. I was able to, boom, throw that towel a bit more. You can see right there that my truck's actually grinded along the coping right here. So they come up, and then right there, right here, my back trucks are actually on the coping, like right there. So my back wheel is probably around about here. My trucks go along here, so they're actually grinding along that coping right there. You can see, look at it closely right there, that little bump, you can see it bump off the coping, and I'm able to slide it all the way around, like right to that point right there. So I started sliding about here, and I slid it all the way up into the coping around there, just controlling that turn all the way around. You can see that right there, I'm sort of not over the center of my board just before, but I'm able to make that adjustment, get my chest over the front of my knees here and come over the center of my board to right out of it right there. You see how low and compressed I come to right out of that turn. My chest is over the front of my knees here, and you know, that helps me right out of that turn with speed and control. So then come straight back up, and what do I do here? Go for another turn of the same thing, just trying to sort of better it. You know, that one even got a bit more rotation right there. You can see right here that I was able to sort of rotate that one super sharply, but that's all due to the weight and pressure that I put on my front foot here. See, I'm shifting all my weight onto this front foot right there. You can see as I come down right there, I'm putting all that weight into that front foot, which helps me get that extra bit of rotation around here where my board is almost parallel to the edge of the ramp right here. And because I got that extra rotation, see where my board is pointing, it's pointing out towards this way. Before I was riding out and I was coming straight down here, but because my board is riding this way, I made the adjustment, and instead of sort of forcing myself and turning out back this way to go back up that ramp, I sort of just went with the flow and went around this way. See, my chest comes over the front of my knees and I'm able to control that turn, and then look at that straight into like a bottom turn up here, and I smack it off the top here and turn around, you know. And that's sort of, again, what I've been saying is, you know, being able to sort of make those adjustments when you're doing a turn and anticipating when something isn't going right, or, you know, in this case, everything sort of went right, and, you know, I was riding straight out, but here my board was turning this way. So instead of sort of forcing the situation, I went with the flow and just went with the way my board was going. And that's sort of like the same motto in life, you know, don't sort of force something that's not happening, go with the flow and make something out of the situation. That's exactly what I did here. Was instead of forcing the situation and going into a direction that I wasn't going, because I was originally anticipating to go in that direction, but you know, I didn't end up in that direction. I went with the flow and made something out of something. So, you know, when you sort of go through life and stuff, and you know, you sort of get thrown into another direction than what you were going with, go with the flow and make something out of it, you know, because it can turn out like really cool, just like this situation right here. You know, I made the maneuver so much more cooler because I went straight from another into another maneuver, and I was able to sort of hit that off and come back around and yeah, make something out of something. And then right here into like another little layback turn, get that extension right there, just throw the arms up, and yeah, able to ride out of that. And then kid comes in. There's always a kid at the skate park with a scooter, but you know, what can you do? Everyone's there to have fun and enjoy themselves. So you know, right. So right here, I'm just lining up to take on this little ramp, do a bunch of turns down here. So come and drop in, and I come around. I had a bit too much speed, so I had to go up and down a bit just to sort of regulate my speed. So as I come around here, I set up this first turn right here, and then you know, it doesn't quite go to plan. I just sort of dug my rail in a bit too tight. I went a bit too tight on that turn, so I kind of come off balance and lost a bunch of speed here. So I had to sort of adjust and go up and down again, get my speed back and just reset. And so now I come up here and I just torque it off the top there, just whack. So that first turn, I'm just torquing it off the top. I'm not going super radical. I want to maintain my speed down the line so I can come up and hit it here, then hit it with a big finishing maneuver here. And you can see that I'm looking at the section that I want to go. I'm always looking at where I want to go. So as we carry on, I come out of that turn and I'm straight into that bottom turn. You can see as I come out of that turn, I begin to compress right here. And as I come out the ramp, I'm compressing. And look how low and compressed I am. I'm looking at the section where I want to go. My hand is touching the ground right here. I'm getting so low and so compressed. So I'm going to come up and bottom turn and hit that section right there. I'm just eyeing that section. And as I come around, I begin to extend. And I come up and I smack it off the top, release the tail, get the fin throw. And as I come around here, extend, bottom turn, and come up, and then just whack it off the top here, get all that release, sliding down all the way down to the bottom of the ramp right there. And another thing to note here, if you watch this bottom turn off the right here onto this next turn, you can see right here that I do like a little double pump, little bottom turn, double pump off the bottom right here. That's because after this turn, I kind of lost speed and I knew I wanted to go big on this turn. So as I'm coming through the bottom turn right here, watch my back heel, how it lifts up off the board. My back heel is lifting up on the board, but I'm still in that momentum doing the mechanics of the bottom turn. You can notice that I'm not super low and compressed. That's because I'm extending with that back foot right here. I'm sort of double pumping to get more speed off the bottom right here. And then I come down and compress again to get that extra bit of speed. And that's going to allow me to sort of get high up onto this ramp right here. And then push on that tail and get that release. You can see how much I released off the top here. I'm started turning there, and I come and turn all the way down here. I slide all the way down that ramp, and that's all due to that double pump off the bottom around here. So boom, I'm able to slide out of that and right out of that turn with control and speed, and that's all due to that double pump bottom turn. So we play that back in fast motion right here. Boom. First turn didn't go plan, reset. Come around, torque it off the top, hit it, and then just double pump off the bottom and smack it and get that turn and get all that release. So, you know, that's kind of what sets me apart from your average sort of surf skater. That's why I call myself a professional surf skater, is those kind of minute adjustments that I can make on the fly. You know, when I don't have enough speed, I know I don't have enough speed. So, you know, mid-transition, mid-bottom turn, I can do that little double pump thing and come up and release the tail so I can have enough speed to complete the other maneuver. So that sort of stuff comes with, you know, years of practice and sort of knowing your equipment and knowing what it feels like when you're transitioning from turn to turn. You know, you need to gauge how much speed you need for a maneuver. So you can just saw right there that I knew I didn't have enough speed, so I had to, you know, make up more speed through that bottom turn to hit it off the top and get that release. So you can see here how much hold and how much drive this new THD thruster has, especially with this man ray board. It has like a lot more hold and a lot more drive than the corner board, you sort of have to extend your bottom turns out a bit more. It doesn't like, because that larger wheelbase, it doesn't like turn as sharp, but man, you can hold like so much, like that extra bit of speed with it, especially with the THD thruster. And you can see it here in this little 2-turn combo that I do right here. As I come up here, I grab the rail and I have all that speed, and I'm grabbing the rail, and that's just sort of helping me sort of carve off the top and maintain that down the line speed. And as I come out of that, immediately go into the bottom turn, you can see right there that I'm touching the ground, I'm eyeing off the section that I want to hit, and just come up here and just straight into that next turn and get that released off the top, like as clean as you can get right there. So if I play it back in fast motion, you can see how much speed I carried through that combo. Boom, and straight up, boom. It kind of looks like it's sped up, but it's not. That's just how much speed I have, and you can see how much control I have through those turns. You can see like right here, this board just maintains and holds that speed from transition from turn to turn. This boom, straight up, and then back up into that next turn. And you can see this whole time from the start right here. Oops. From the start right here, you can see that I'm just eyeing the section that I want to hit. And as I come up, I'm looking at that section and I'm turning. Now immediately I'm looking down the line right here, the next section that I want to hit. I want to come up and bottom turn. I want to hit this section like right there. So I come around off the bottom. Let's see how low and compressed I get. My hands touching the ground here. I'm eyeing that section and I'm just holding my line through that bottom turn. And I come up and I release right off the top. Just bank it right off the top here. And you can see how sharp I do that bottom turn. I'm coming around here, then I'll go just right there. I'm pointing like almost just past like 90 degrees. I'm just pointing out that way, and that's going to help me sort of get that release and that rotation around a lot more. So when I come on and snap it off the top right there, boom, I'm able to swing it all the way around here. So I started about here and I turned it all the way around that way and land right out that way. So here's a little breakdown of a backhand turn right here. Come up, looking at the section and just bank it off the top right here and come down and compress. So as I come up and approach that, I'm setting up the turn with the bottom turn. Really important. Every time you go up for a maneuver with like backhand snap, forehand snap, you've got to set it up with that bottom turn. Same with surfing. And you can see right here that I'm eyeing a section that I want to hit, getting long compressed right here. My shoulders are rotating into this direction. You can see down here my front arm guiding me into the direction that I want to turn. And as I come around, I begin to extend and I throw my arms up. This is very important. My arms come up, and that's going to help me come up top of the ramp. That's part of that extension. It's going to help me project me up the top of the ramp. It's going to help me rotate around. So my arms come up, then they're going to begin to rotate around this way. It's the same with this one. My back arm is going to come and rotate around this way as well. And my head's already rotating around that way. I'm looking at where I want to go, and then my hips are just going to follow suit. And then I'm going to use this back leg here and just kick it out and get that rotation right around here. And I'm going to balance my weight onto my front foot right here. So as I come around, begin that rotation, then right there you can see that my back leg kicks out. I get that rotation around there. My arms are rotating around here. My head's rotated, and I'm sliding that back foot out right here, and I'm looking at where I want to go. So all I have to do is just sort of put my weight onto that front foot and sort of pivot on that front foot momentarily as I slide out those back wheels around this way. And look at the torque on my body. Like my body's around here and my hips are just shooting out that way. to getting that release off the back foot right here. But notice how my front chest is still over the front of my knees here. I'm still in control of my board because the front of my chest is over the center of my board, and it's not sort of out over here. I'm not out over here, my legs here. You know, I'm still centered and in control of my board. So as I come back around, see right there, make that adjustment, and I immediately come down into that compression. My chest is over the front of my knees here, and I'm low and compressed. I'm looking at the section that I want to go, and I just ride out of that turn with speed and ease. Look at that. And that's how you execute a backhand snap. That's what makes filming beneficial, is you're able to sort of critique yourself and, you know, slow your footage right down and just look at the finer details of what you're doing. I know a lot of you guys sort of send in videos to me, and it's, you guys almost got the turns, but it's just those tiny little minute sort of details that I pick up on that, you know, are going to make your surf skating so much better, whether it be like a head rotation or shoulder rotation or something. You know, you're almost like most of the time when you guys send me videos to, you know, sort of critique your technique and your mechanics, you guys are like 85% there. It's just those sort of extra 10% sometimes, that those little details that you need to adjust to sort of get you 100% there. So that's why it's very, very beneficial to sort of watch yourself back and review your footage and critique yourself and compare it with, you know, other people, compare it to my techniques and stuff like that, because you can see what you're doing right and see what you're doing wrong. All right, so here we are, just setting up a string of backhand turns on this one. So come up, around, hit it off the top, and straight back down into the next turn. I'm looking at the section I want to go, and I just bank it off the top right here. Just sort of nothing too crazy on that turn, just sort of a speed carve to project me down the line. Same with this one, another little speed carve off the top. Then this one I come up around and I give it a bit more, throw the tail a bit, get that release off the top, then straight back down into the other bottom turn and bank it off the top. This one, another little speed carve as well, just to get me to this next section where I come up and I just smack it off the top and get that release, throw that tail, and then for good measure I just go for one more off the bottom straight up and smack it off the top, get that release on that second one and compress all the way out. So we speed that up and watch it in fast motion right here. Just take note how many turns I do on this bank. So I come up, that's one turn right there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7 turns on that little bank right there. And you know, you notice how much speed I carry from turn to turn, from transition to transition to get me all the way there. You know, it takes like, this might look easy to do, which it is kind of easy in a sense, but you know, let me tell you, it's a fucking leg workout, because when you watch it, half of the time I'm just squatting right there, using all that compression and extension, and it's all in the legs. You know, your legs get fatigued after doing that, you know, a bunch of times. You know, if you think about, if you hold a squat there for like 30 seconds, your legs are going to get tired and fatigued. So, you know, that's another part of surf skating, is your strength and conditioning and your endurance. You know, if you want to surf skate for like very long, you want to do like multiple maneuvers on a ramp like this, you need strength and conditioning, you need that endurance. So, you know, if you don't go to the gym already, I encourage you to go to the gym and start working out, whether it be like weight training or high interval, intermittent training, what is it called? High interval HIIT training, or whatever it's called. Just you know, sort of get the body moving and do other exercises and other body movement apart from surf skating, because that's going to make you such a better surf skater. You know, sort of training your legs and, you know, training some cardio and training your weight, doing a bunch of weight training, or just like any sort of foundational functional movement training apart from surf skating, because it's going to help you surf skate for longer. It's going to prevent you from injury. You know, you're going to be a lot stronger and a lot healthier, and you know, it's going to make your surf skating so much better. And that's what enables me to sort of surf skate for hours on end is because I go to the gym every day. I work out. I'm very fit and active, and I'm doing functional training. I'm doing weight training. I'm doing endurance training. Cardio and all that. So it all helps in my when it comes to my surf skating, because I can surf skate for so long, and it helps prevent injury. I can fall properly. I can do all these super big and awesome maneuvers, and carry speed and transition from turn to turn, and just to have so much more power and so much more speed and flow through my maneuvers and everything. So yeah, if you're not training, sign up to a gym and start just doing some training. You can train at home. I did like an at-home workout on my channel, so check that out if you haven't already. Give you some ideas of what you can do at home, and that will help you become a better surf skater. Check out this turn right here. I'm coming up, setting up that turn, just sort of perfect off the top here, but I kind of had a bit too much speed and I just slid out right there, but I was able to sort of maintain and control that turn and come up and hit it off the top right here and release it off the top, and then right out of that speed with control, right out of that turn with control. And that's what I've been saying, like when things don't sort of go your way, you can see right here that I had a bit too much speed and I slid out, but I was able to make that adjustment and able to control that that little hiccup right there. So if I play it back in fast motion, be able to see how much speed I have right there. So you see that all that speed that I have through that turn. And that's another great thing about these new thrusters, these new THD thrusters, that have so much more hold and so much more drive. So when I'm doing a turn like this with all that speed, it holds it so much more. But I just had too much force and too much pressure off that back foot right here off the bottom. I turned all the way around here and I'm just pushing on that back foot to get that rotation, and unfortunately I just had a bit too much speed at the end there and I slid out. But slid out right there. You can see it just sort of let go and it slid, but I was able to control it and adjust and come back up into that bottom turn and bank it off the top there again. So that wasn't the cleanest of turns, but I was able to sort of pull it off and make something out of the situation. So that's what I'm talking about, is sort of making those adjustments on the fly, anticipating when something isn't going right and being able to make those adjustments so you can complete the maneuver. And that's also a testament to this board and this new thruster on the Smoothstars, is that they are a lot better than what they were, and you can push it hard. So this turn right here, last time, the previous turn I slid out, so this time when I went up and made the adjustment, I made the adjustment by grabbing my rail here. You can see here, I'm just grabbing my rail, so I'm able to control that speed a lot more and get that tighter turn. But grabbing my rail, I have more control over my board, so I'm not going to slide out. So I'm able to control it, and see I don't slide out, and then straight into that bottom turn, and I come up and just whack it right off the top there. Look at that release that I get off the top, and straight into that bottom turn again, and then straight up into this turn right here, and just down the line again. Up, do I go up? Yep, up into another like little turn that's kind of out of frame right there. Didn't really hit that one because my legs were super fatigued. But if I play this back in fast motion right here, you can see how fast I'm going through that turn. All that speed through that turn, just whack it off the top, as clean as you can get, and then boom, straight down the line. And this turn is probably like one of my favorite turns that I've done on this manta ray board. I'll tell you why, because we'll break it down right here. You can see at the start here, I'm looking at the section that I want to go. I'm looking at the section that I want to hit. I want to come up here, I want to bottom turn around here and just do that big card right there. Now, as I play this through, take note of my back wheels right here off the bottom, off this bottom turn. See right here, I come off, you can see, boom, how much speed I get right there and how much hold and drive this has right here. You can see that I kind of just drift with the back wheels right there off that bottom turn. I'm kind of like just drifting around like right there. You can see it when I go back and forth, toggle it back and forth like this, that drift. I'm just gliding along that bottom turn right there because that's how much speed I have. And see, that's what's good about these new boards, is that that's the perfect example of the 15 to 20% more hold and more drive that these thrusters have. You know, if I was on the normal thruster, I would have slid out with all that much speed. But because of these new thrusters with the new hold and drive that they have, I'm able to it just holds and I'm just drifting along. Like right there. I mean, that's just so cool. Like right here, just drifting, and then boom, I come up and I hit that rail, and then look right here, look at the angle that I get off the bottom. I'm like drift around here, then I come up and I come up like 90 degrees. And then right here, mechanics, I'm looking at the section that I want to go. This arm comes up to help me turn into this direction. This leading arm's there guiding me into the direction I want to turn. And now I'm beginning to rotate my shoulders around this way. My hips are going to follow suit. This arm's actually going to come down and grab this rail. So as I come through that turn, you can see right here, that arm comes down and grabs that rail. I'm rotating my head around, looking into the direction I want to turn. This arm's guiding me into the direction that I'm turning, and I'm just rotating my shoulders around this way, and same with my hips. And I'm just holding that rail as I come through that turn, come down, and actually touch the concrete right there. And I'm just holding that line all the way around, and I don't slide out. I just come straight up, and I have all that speed to come up into this bottom turn. And as I come up into this bottom turn, I begin to let go of my rail and I extend. And then look at the rotation that I get on this. I come around and I rotate back this way, like 90 degrees is like right here. So I rotate past 90 degrees and I'm winding up to get that big release off the top right here. So as I snap it off the top, I'm able to just throw the tail and just snap it all the way around past 90 degrees again. So I was pointing out this way and I snapped it all the way around and I'm pointing out that way. I don't know how many degrees that is, but you know, that's 90 degrees like right here. So I'm just snapping it past 90 degrees right there. And that's why I sort of rotate out this way off that bottom turn, because the further I rotate out that way, the more release I'm going to get when I snap it back around. And then immediately see here, I come over the front of my knees centered over my board right here. I kind of put my hand down because I'm just so low and compressed, and I'm immediately looking at the section that I'm going, looking at where I'm going, the next section that I want to hit. So as I ride out of that bottom turn right here, I'm straight back into that bottom turn, straight back into the bottom turn. And you notice here how tight my bottom turn is. I'm not bottom turning out here. I'm still like in the little curve of the ramp right here. I'm straight up looking at this next section. So I come up in that bottom turn with speed, and I just come up and release it off the top. And then right there, my wheels kind of catch. I didn't get quite the release that I wanted to. I wanted to rotate it a bit more, but my wheels sort of caught, so I wasn't able to get that rotation. But nonetheless, I get the snap off the top, and my chest comes over the front of my knees here. I'm centered over my board, and I ride out of that turn with speed. And then right here, my legs are just fatiguing, so I go up for another like little turn, but I don't put anything into it. I just turn off the top, and that's that. And that's what sort of sets me apart from, you know, I've said this before, but you know, that's what makes me so good, is I'm able to sort of carry all this speed and make those adjustments when one thing doesn't go right. That previous turn, when I sort of slid out, I made the adjustment of grabbing my rail, and look at all the speed that I just carry through this turn from one turn to the next, especially like off that bottom turn when I just transition and just like drifting. But you know, for me, surf skating is about like speed, power, and flow, and like combination of like major maneuvers, pretty much the criteria of surfing. So that's what I focus on, is my speed and my power, my flow through transitions, and like doing multiple big maneuvers in a row. And that's the perfect example of it right there is the speed in the flow in which I transition from maneuver to maneuver. Right there, this bang, big snap, and then straight off into the next one. So yeah, definitely one of my favorite turns that I've done on the mana race so far. Just that sort of transition, it's really sick. So right here, I'm just setting up a maneuver, just trying a bunch of different maneuvers. Right there, boom, tweak it out. Like that turn was just really nice. So I'm just going up again, just trying to improve on that turn. I go off for a second turn right here. Same thing again, just boom, tweak it out, push the tail. And then this third turn is probably my favorite turn of all three of them. As I come up and I just push, get that torque off the top, and you know, that's as good as a turn as you can do like that on a ramp like this. Like, let's break this turn down. So as I come up through that turn right here, you can see that I'm looking at the section that I want to go. I'm always looking at the section that I want to hit. I'm just compressing, winding up those arms to get that release off the top. And as I approach the top right here, I extend. You can see right here how close my wheels get to the coping. My tail is off the coping, and my back wheel is probably right here below this coping, and my back wheel is right there below the coping. You can see the torque on my body, like right here. Got this like body torque, and my body just sort of stays in this position as my legs just rotate around this way down the ramp here. So you can see like right here, if I slow it down, my body just stays in that one position, and I slide and I slide and I slide all the way down there. I'm just sort of like pivoting in that one spot as I slide, and I'm just getting that big body torque there. And look how far I slide down the ramp. I slide as close as you can get to the end of the ramp here before I have to straighten out. So I started sliding around here, and I held that slide all the way down there, and now I begin to straighten out and get my hips back underneath my chest here, and I catch my board, and I'm able to just ride out of that turn, straighten out before the edge of the ramp right here, and I ride out of that with speed and control. So that's probably, yeah, one of my favorite turns that I've done on this corner board. It's just that torque. If I play it back in fast motion, boom, right there. It's just super clean. And getting all that torque, that extension off the top, boom. All right, so right here is a similar combo on the corner board. So I come up and just torque it off the top here. Don't grab the rail. I'm maintaining that speed down the line. I come up straight into that bottom turn, and then right here, I just come up into that cutback, and see how low and compressed I am through that cutback transition. And I'm just able to hold my line all the way around to this next section and just snap it off the top right there. Bang, get that release. And then I have this speed, and I straight up into the bottom turn, then release it off the top, and go for the 180. And right here, my back foot sort of come and slipped off, but I was able to sort of catch myself, my hands, and put my foot back on and maintain my control over my board. It wasn't the cleanest exit, but see right here, I just come and pushed off, and then yeah, it was just my foot, just everything was perfect. My foot just sort of slipped off too much, so I had to put my hands down and catch myself, and was able to pick myself back up and ride out of that turn with speed. Right here in this turn, I wanted to get a bunch of release and do like a 180 turn. So as I come up and I approach this turn, boom, I get that release and I turn around, and then I didn't quite get over the top of my board here, so I'm riding out backwards, but I'm just not able to pull that maneuver off right there. So you can see right here, I get that turn, get that release off the top, but then it's kind of tricky right here because you're in the middle of the ramp right there, and you have to ride down backwards on this ramp, which is kind of difficult to do, but you kind of really need to be over the top of your board. And right here you can see that I just kind of come off balance, so I'm forced to put my left arm down, and you can see right here that my chest isn't over the front of my knees here, and I'm not over the center of my board, so I'm riding out backwards, so I kind of have to try and pivot around here. So when I do try to do that, you can see right there that I'm just leaning too far back this way right now, and my chest isn't over the front of my board, so I'm not gonna be able to pull this maneuver off. So I have to try and put my arm down there to try and pick myself up, but by that time my board is just too far away from me and it just escapes me, and I'm not able to pull that maneuver off. So as I go for the same maneuver again, do the same thing and rotate around, and then right here is when I kind of stop rotating. You see how much rotation I get? I'm rotating around 180 degrees, like almost around this way. And then when I stop rotating, I have a split second where I need to pivot and shift all my weight onto this back foot to pivot on these back trucks and spin around and come around down here. But because this is on an incline, it's very sort of hard to do when you pivot on these back trucks, because you stay there too long, you're going to come unstuck just like this. So as I come around, I'm facing this way, so I need to rotate more than 180 degrees around this way to ride out of that turn just on these back trucks right here. So as I do that, I come around, and then you can see I have all this weight onto this back foot because I'm pivoting on that back foot. So when I'm riding down, because this thing's on an incline right here, I'm just have too much weight on this back foot, so I have no downward pressure on my front foot right here. So when I ride out, you see I just sort of come unstuck and not super in control of my board, and then yeah, just come unstuck and not able to ride out of that turn. I play it back in fast motion right here. You can see how fast it happens. So boom, and then I just get caught up and not able to complete that maneuver. So as I come here for the third time to try and complete that maneuver, I knew what I did wrong. I knew what I had to do. So it's a very quick transition. When you do the rotation, you've got to pivot. You have a split second where you stop rotating and stop sliding. So you have to pivot on those back trucks and shift your weight, and make sure you shift your weight properly so you can make it down the side of the ramp here. So as I come up here, let's just play it back. Boom, slide, then stop right there. I pivot around, and then I make it out of that, right out of that turn. You see my face right here. I'm just like, dang, fuck, finally I made that turn. So I've just been trying it and trying to get it right, and I finally did it. So I was just like, dang, fuck for that. I was stoked on the inside afterwards. It was like a sigh of relief. I was like, thank God. So let's break this down. So I come up and approach that ramp, and you can see from back here, I'm looking at the section that I want to hit. I'm winding up my arms, compressing, coming into that extension. And as I come up through that turn, I push on the back tail right here. And look at that extension that I get with my back leg. It's all the way, pushing all the way out here to get that rotation. I have all this weight on my front leg right here, my front foot. All that weight is shifted onto that front leg right here. And as I come around, you can see that I'm rotating past like 180 degrees. So I started in this direction. I started rotating about here. And you can see now that I've completely rotated around this way, the back of my board. And then right here is when my wheels catch and I stop that rotation. So right there, I have a split second. You can see like right here, if I play it back in slow motion, my wheels stop catching and see that I stop moving. So right there is when I have to shift my weight, all my weight onto this back foot. I get nice and long and compressed, and I have to begin to rotate over my shoulder this way. So that's what I do. I put all my weight on that back foot and I rotate around, and look how far I'm rotating around. I'm starting here and I rotate all the way around the nose of the board around this way. So I come around, rotate, and then I'm able to pivot on there, and then I transition my weight. My chest is over the front of my knees here, and I'm able to be in control of my board, and I ride out of that, and I ride out of it with speed and control. I'm just like, dang, fuck for that. So now, after that, this is when I fuck up. I come up and I do this sick like backhand slide right here. Boom, get that, and then I go and run over my pinky, and I'm just like, fuck, right there. And I look at my pinky and it's all fucked up. And so what happened right here, I do this backside turn and I tweak it out the top and it's going all real nice and everything. And then with this front arm, I think I tried to just grab, I went to grab my rail right here, grab the side of the rail right here as I exited that maneuver, but instead my hand was like on the ground and I sort of misjudged it. And then right here you can see that my hand just gets caught right underneath my wheel and it just scrapes along it and takes like half of my pinky nail off, and I'm like, fuck. And I'm forced to sort of come down, and then right down here, I think it's on my right foot here, right down here, my foot grazes the grip tape and I get a cut on my foot there as well. And I'm like, fuck. And I look at my pinky and yeah, it's kind of fucked up. So yeah, that's that. It's all healed up now. It's all good. I forget which one it was, but yeah, I think it was this one. It's all good now. Right here, I'm just surfing this little bowl part right here. Have a ton of speed. So I come up, just boom, up high line and come around that section right there. It's actually like a really nice sort of transition right here. You can see here, I don't come up real high on this. I just sort of take that to get the angle to hit this section right here. As I come up and extend up the ramp, I sort of compress right here and just hold that line and use that corner of the speed just to sort of project me down there, get all that speed through that corner of that ramp right there. And I'm just able to, boom, come up and, just maintain a bunch of speed through that transition right there. And then right here, just to finish off the session, I hit this little snake track down here just for fun. Yeah, it's really fun to do this kind of thing. There's not much to it. All you have to do is just sort of draw your line and then just grab your rail and just get super long and compressed and just hold that line and with all that speed and just try and get as low as you can to the ground here. You can see that my hand touches the ground and, just come along and do that little transition thing. It's super fun to do. So if you have something like that at your park, go out and try it on the forehand or backhand. Just get super low and towards the ground and grab the rail, and yeah, it's just like a super little fun thing to do that doesn't take much skill. You can do that like down hills and stuff too. It's super fun. All right, that wraps up today's edit. I hope you enjoyed that breakdown of me analyzing myself at the skate park on the 34-inch Connor O'Leary board and the 34.5-inch Man Ray board. Like I said before, filming yourself is a great way to level up and improve your surf skating. So I highly recommend you guys go out there and try it and just sort of watch yourself back. You can critique yourself, see what you're doing right, see what you're doing wrong, and compare yourself to someone like me who's very good at surf skating and sort of see, what I'm doing with my head movement and my shoulder movement and my mechanics and everything, and compare it to yours. Like I said, most of the time when you guys send me videos, you guys are about 85%, 90% there. It's just those little minute kind of things that you need to tweak to level up your surf skating, whether it be like a shoulder turn or a head movement or something like that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video. Make sure you check out my previous video of me analyzing myself at Coolum Skate Park, and check out the edits that I did for those 2 videos too. I think you really enjoy them. He sort of puts it in perspective of all the the tries that I get when I'm skating, when I'm putting together these videos. I don't get the maneuvers straight away. It sort of takes me a couple of times to sort of get the right maneuver. So hope that sort of encourages you, if you're not getting a maneuver straight away, it happens to the best of us. So just keep on trying and you'll get there. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and comment below what you guys want to see next. Like I said, I got a whole new setup, so it's going to make my workflow a lot more easier, a lot more faster. So that's the goal for the next half of the year, is to produce more video content, more tutorials for you guys. So let me know what you guys want to see next and I'll get onto it. In the meantime, guys, happy surf skating, go out and shred, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Yo!